Have you ever wondered how you get rid of a giant space station? If you've been wondering about that for a while, well, you're in luck because today we will be talking about SpaceX's plan to crash the International Space Station. After more than 2 decades, world leaders have held talks on how to retire the International Space Station. One plan discussed is to intentionally crash the ISS, that is, to bring it down by 2030. However, NASA does not intend to do this alone. To retire the world's leading space station, they have inquired for help from SpaceX, the world's leading private company in matters of space and space travel. But before we spill the tea on what's happening in space, let's talk about what's happening in this space. You are obviously welcome to Space Mind's channel, where we turn the mysteries of space into exciting adventures. If you're a lover of rockets, space tech, and the galaxy, this is the right place for you. Make sure to hit that subscribe button to get more exciting updates from the world of space. After 23 long years, the ISS, which has served as a home to astronauts in space, will finally be decommissioned. NASA announced in June that they had entered into a partnership with SpaceX to help in the decommissioning. As part of the deal, SpaceX would be walking away with a whopping sum of $843 million. The plan involves using one of SpaceX's Dragon spaceships. Of course, this cannot be done by just any Dragon spaceship. The spaceship has to be strong enough to ensure that the ISS is brought down to exactly where it should land. Precision and power are two of the technicalities at play here. As it stands, SpaceX's Dragon spaceships are no strangers to the ISS, as they have been used to move NASA astronauts and cargo deemed light enough. But crashing and retiring the ISS will require more than just the regular Dragon spaceship. SpaceX took to the social media platform X to reveal the details of Dragon's spaceship that will be up to the task. This is not any ordinary Dragon spaceship, no. This one is supercharged. It will have 6 times more propellant and 4 times the power of a current Dragon spaceship. The plan involves having an existing cargo Dragon fitted with a new high-powered trunk by SpaceX, powered by 46 Draco engines. Still, how will this crash the 450-ton ISS into the ocean successfully, with as little damage as possible? The superpowered Dragon spaceship that will be used to deorbit the ISS will be twice as long as any Dragon spaceship in use currently. According to SpaceX's Director of Dragon Mission Management, Sarah Walker, the most dangerous part of the mission is to get the final burn, which will propel the ISS towards its final descent. This burn must be powerful enough to fly the entire space station, all the while resisting the torques and forces caused by increasing atmospheric drag on the space station to ensure that it ultimately terminates in the intended location, said Walker. It's no surprise that crashing such a huge structure on land would have devastating effects. To cushion the effects of the crash landing, NASA has decided to do it in a place called the Spacecraft Cemetery. If NASA is to limit the damage and ensure minimum damage during the crash, the ISS has to crash in a controlled manner. The Spacecraft Cemetery, or the Southern Pacific Ocean Uninhabited Area, is the place where many spacecraft have reached the end of their routine usefulness and met their end. And by the year 2031, NASA intends to put the ISS to rest there. The Spacecraft Cemetery is 2,700 kilometers away from the land point closest to it, meaning that a football field-sized structure can be crashed into it without having to worry that it will harm human life in any way. There have been many rumors and speculation swirling around as to why NASA has decided to retire and crash the ISS. Some have said that the United States and NASA are taking that decision to reduce Russia's influence in space travel. Well, whilst both the United States and Russia have been involved in technological battles, each trying to prove their superiority over the other, this is not the reason for the decision to retire the 450-ton ISS. The main reason for choosing to retire the biggest space structure is entirely different. For over 20 years, the ISS has orbited space, but like any other thing ever built, the structure is aging. It is no longer the same structure that it used to be. Also, economic reasons play a huge role in the ISS decision. To orbit space on its own, the ISS needs to regularly boost or refuel. If these boosts should stop sooner rather than later, the structure will fall and crash into the Earth. Each of these trips to boost the ISS costs a lot of money, and this has been deemed unsustainable for too long. So instead of just stopping the boost trips and leaving the ISS out to dry and end up crashing into the Earth, which will cause untold casualties, they have made the weighty decision to retire the craft and send it to rest at the spacecraft cemetery. With the retirement of ISS edging closer and closer, what's next for humans and space travel? Well, ever since man has made his way to space, man has not looked back. Our knowledge of space continues to expand with every passing moment. However, compared to the vast expanse that surrounds our planet, what we know about space is still very little. Now, with the retirement of NASA's largest spacecraft, there have been rumors and speculation that it will affect human presence in space. However, that may not be so, as NASA has more tricks up its sleeve to maintain human presence in space, and we'll be talking about two of those tricks in a bit. First, NASA plans to turn to commercial space stations to maintain human presence in space. If you're familiar with the workings of NASA, you should know that this is not the first time NASA has partnered with private entities in its endeavour to unlock more secrets of space. In 2021, they partnered with Dynetics, a Leidos company, Blue Origin, and SpaceX for the Artemis moon mission. The Artemis mission aims to take man back to the moon, but this time, one of the two people who will land on the moon will be a woman, and she will make history as the first woman to land on the moon. Apart from landing a woman on the moon, another long-term goal of the organisation is to land a person of colour on the moon. For thousands of years, humans have had limited knowledge of the world around them. But as technology advanced, so did our knowledge of the Earth. Humans went from thinking that the Earth is flat to knowing that it is in fact spherical in shape. Then, as technology improved over the years, it was established that our planet is not the only planet in the cosmos. Our galaxy consists of 9 planets and billions of heavenly bodies. Well, after conquering the moon for a second time, it appears that the next step for man is to send as many people to Mars until an entire colony is established. Yes, humankind's next step is to become multiplanetary, but establishing a settlement or colony on another planet is not going to be easy. Indeed, no organization, including NASA, single-handedly has the technology or funding to establish a human colony on Mars, and for this reason, NASA is collaborating with SpaceX and its CEO Elon Musk to establish a human colony on Mars and take man into the next step in its evolution. So, there you have it. Yes, the retirement of the ISS might be heartbreaking news to lovers of space travel. However, rest assured, nothing that the ISS stands for will be lost. If anything, NASA retiring the ISS opens up the doors to more mind-blowing possibilities in space travel. If you found this update helpful, make sure to hit that like button, share it with your friends, and subscribe to Space Minds for all the latest space news and updates.